I'm going to be giving you a few pattern tips if you're a beginner. So for the second row, the landmark for me is usually the middle of my ear. So I use that to get the second row. So use the middle and then take it all the way round. It's fine if the first cut is not perfect, so just clean it up later, okay? And now this is what it looks like. Of course, after using the gel to clean it up. So for the individual braids, I either use the last braid, the middle of the last braid, to start a new braid, or I just get 2 braids in the middle. Now get the middle of those 2 middle braids, if that makes sense. So part the middle of one braid and the middle of the other braid, and then I have one individual braid. All right, I'll still show you someplace in this video how to get those individual parts, okay? Now for the third row, my landmark is usually the top of my ear or the eyes, using my eyes like the midpoint of the eye. So if I'm to take it all the way from my eyes down, like the top of the ear or the midpoint of the eye. So that's what I use as my landmark for the third braid. I will show you a different angle so that you understand. So top of the ear or using the eye as a landmark. And then when I do it this way, I just know that subsequent one will just be just above the one below, and then I can just keep going around to achieve that part. So I'm just going to do the third row now, and I'm going to explain the individual part. So using the middle braids, maybe 2 middle braids at the bottom, so just part in between the middle of each braid and get 1 braiding hair. It's okay if your parts are not perfect, you can just always clean that up subsequently. So when I'm done parting, I will just use gel to just hold that down. So I like to just mold or part my hair for a roll so that when I'm braiding, I just breathe through the whole roll. Okay, so for this braiding hair, you're going to need your thumb and your index finger to grab and to braid. So I'm going to repeat this movement over and over again so that you can see how I am doing that. And don't worry, throughout this video, if you stay till the end, I'm going to show you different angles of how I achieved this knotless boho method so that you will get it. So for that coily end effect, to end with coily end, I just joined 2 coily braids together, the tip of 2 braids together, and then added to the end and then continued braiding. I didn't use any nail glue for this, so this was just how I achieved this. And then when I got to a particular point where I was very sure it was secured, I would just tie that down securely. I also showed how I did the knot, or I knotted the hair. So I knotted it twice so that it's very secure, and still I will open up the knotting braid, the one that I used to knot. I still open it up in between the braid, like in the middle like this, and still tie it down just so that it's really secured. And as at when I'm releasing this video, I've had my hair on for 2 weeks and almost 3 weeks, and none has unraveled. So I think it was really secured with this knotting method. Then I trim off any flyaways, of course, because this human braiding hair, it's not pre-stretched like your extensions. You're going to get some flyaways, so it's just good to trim off as you do each braid so it's easier. About 5 or 6 coily braids in each braid, or 5 or 6 coily pieces in each braid. It depends on how full you want your hair to be, but I think 5 to 6 really helped me achieve the full hair. So at this point, I've only used a whole pack of the human hair, and I had 3 bundles, so I just used a whole bundle only to achieve more than half of the hair. or at least half of the hair. Honestly, so I think this one would go. So I'm just about to open a new one now to start. You guys, let me give you, let me hint you on something. So initially I started, if you see the back, I started cutting it like really little, okay? And I started, at this point, guys, a girl needs to get up. I have a lot to do and I need to be done with this hair. Like, I have a lot to do and I'm traveling tomorrow. So no wonder people actually start their hair from the front so that however when they get to the back, however they want to do it. But anyhow, so that's it. So I'm about to continue with a new one. So I just wanted to show you how much one bundle got me to, or where it got me to. So I think 2 bundles will be enough even if I order 3. So let's see how far this can take me as well. So I have I unraveled the hair. This is how so much you can get with 100 grams. Like, this is so, you can imagine. I like the smell. It smells like real human. And I like the color. It's not black, jet black. It's like natural color. So yeah. So you may have noticed, so I usually use like the extension 3 times before I add the curly hair. So I'll do that 3 times before I add the curly hair, but the way I would do that in front will be different. So at this particular point, when I add the curly hair, it's just found itself at the back, maybe because of the position or the angle I was staying. So when I add the curly hair, I will just braid it with the extension a bit. Then when it comes to the front, then I hold it with my mouth. Yeah, I'm using my mouth because the clips were too high at this point of the extensions. You've noticed that previously, whenever I add the curly hair, I just put it out immediately and start braiding. But probably because of the angle I am, when I add the curly hair, I'll realize that it's at the back of the braid. Then I braid it a bit with the extensions before I put it away, if that makes sense, okay? So for the end, when you add the curly paste, you can just choose to braid it down until the extensions are no longer visible with the curly paste. But I choose to cut mine off because I'm not going to dip it in water. So whichever way you prefer, but this is just how I want to do mine because I wasn't going to dip it in water. So this was how I achieved the end of my braid. I just take 2 curly pieces together and use the gel to just hold them together. So the way I achieved the front was different from the way I've been doing it at the back. So with the back, instead of starting with the extensions, I started with the curly hair. Just so that when I pack the hair, the curly hair would just fall naturally. I would show you what I mean. So I just oiled my scalp, and rather than dipping it in hot water since it was human hair, I just used water with a bit of conditioner inside to just spray my hair, and it turned out really good. And it had minimal to no shedding at all. I've had this hair on for about 3 weeks, and the coils are still the same, still very good. The hair is still looking very good. So I think it's just nice to use human hair for this style.